Welcome back to another monthly wrap-up video. It is October now, like one of the greatest months of the entire year. Halloween, baby, Halloween. But that also means we got to do some September house cleaning or housekeeping, something like that, and wrap this shit up. As usual, before we get into the actual books that I read this month, I do want to go through the things that were sent to me this month. And actually, there was only one person who sent me something, and it was Heidi, one of my patrons. And she gave me the Elric of Melnibone, something. Anyway, she sent me Elric. But she didn't stop there because she sent me the entire set. I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much. Like, this is stunning. Like, genuinely, these are stunning. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you. I feel like I need to move this up on my list now, like, as reading and when I get to it. Like, I genuinely want to move it forward just because I want to get into reading those books. They're lovely. Once again, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, what did I read this month? Let's talk about some books here. I read Dungeon Crawler Carl, The Eye in the Sky, Slewfoot, The Buffalo Hunter, and The Player of Games. Now, as usual, I will not be discussing books that got a dedicated book review. So Dungeon Crawler Carl is out. He got his review. Then Player of Games got its video review. And these two I will discuss briefly. But actually, I'm doing a Halloween special, which is all of the books. I will be doing like a short mini review of every book that I read for spooky season this year, which includes these two books. So these will be getting dedicated reviews at the end of October with this big like Halloween special that I'm going to be doing. So, but I will briefly kind of discuss them just because it feels appropriate for the monthly wrap up. I'll start there. Slewfoot was the year 1666, and pagan girl is married to a Puritan man and in a Puritan community. And from there, all kinds of nastiness happens. There is a forest creature that's being reborn to life after being kind of dormant for a long time in the woods. And it's just, there's a lot of discussions to be had about paganism versus Puritanism, especially in that time and in that era. It causes all kinds of tension between the peoples. It was really good. It was genuinely surprising in some of the ways that it played out. It was genuinely surprising in some of the conversations that it's going to have. Obviously, it's going to have those conversations. But I thought it was a really well done book. I thought it was kind of nice. Then there's also artwork because Bram, the author, is also an artist. And it's just stunning, the artwork that you get inside. But without saying too much, because I'll be reviewing it a little bit more in depth, it was genuinely a very good book. So there's that. Then there's The Buffalo Hunter, and this was just wonderful. Oh my gosh, this was a good book. This one is the year 1912, I think, or 1911. I don't know, early 1900s. And it is kind of like this priest. It's kind of like a story within a story within a story, because you have a girl in the year 2013, and she finds diaries from her great-grandfather from the year 1912. And so we're following the story's bookended by her story, and then it goes back to the diaries of the grandfather, but then in his story, he will be talking to a Native American who tells his story, and then we'll go back and we experience his story. So there's like 3 different timelines that we're following, and we kind of go in and out of them. Well, in and out of the 2 in the middle of the book, and then the whole book is bookended by the other ones. It sounds confusing, but it's really not that bad. And it was really astonishingly well written. It was well structured. I loved everything about this. This was great. I have read this and The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, and this is just moved right to the top. This is my favorite book of his. Granted, I've only read 2, but boom, right at the top. So good. It was kind of crazy. Now, Eye in the Sky by Philip, I almost said Stephen Graham Jones, by Philip K. Dick. This was, I think I sold this in my TBR video as a group of people gets caught in a particle accelerator, like a collider, and it throws them into another universe, which is controlled by the ultra-religious. And then they eventually end up in a dystopian communist-run world after that, and it felt like world hopping. This is 100% true how I sold it, but even I didn't quite understand. I should know better by now. I've read enough Philip K. Dick in my life that when he goes into, like, the group of people goes into the Puritan, or not Puritan, the ultra-religious universe, it's not just run by, like, religious people. The whole world is governed by, like, religious rules. It's so Dick, it's kind of funny. Then when they go into the communist world, it's not really even dystopian. It's just like, if I explained it, I would give spoilers away. But it's so Dick in its approach. It is kind of like, what if this group of people got stuck at a collider and then gets thrown into these multiple, kind of a series of different universes as we go through them, trying to get back to the one that we came from. And it is done kind of like, it's kind of like one of those middle of the road Philip K. Dicks. It's not one of like the peak Dick where it's like the greatest thing you've ever read, like a Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep or a Ubik or Three Stigmata. And it's not one of his lower end where you're just kind of forgettable. It's right in the middle of the pack, which is good. But then most of those books that fall right in the middle of the pack end up feeling like really, really, really good Twilight Zone episodes a lot of the time, which is exactly what this feels like. Then it is like this world portal universe hopping, trying to get back to where we came from in the most Dick way. These worlds are so Philip K. Dick in their style and their feel and their vibe and the actual rules that govern the universes. It's wild. It's really fun. Like I said, it's not like peak Philip K. Dick. It's not the greatest Philip K. Dick book you've ever read, but boy, it's not a waste of your time either. It's a genuine blast going through these different worlds with these people. Then after all of that, those were the books that I read this month. Let's talk about the manga that I read this month. And I finally am starting to work my way through Attack on Titan. I have been slowly putting these things on my shelf for probably a couple of years at this point. I know the entire story of Attack on Titan. I watched every season as it dropped. Like I stayed current on that one. And I've seen all the way through to the end. It's wonderful. I love the anime of Attack on Titan. This is everything that the anime is. I don't know what to say other than it is every bit as good as you would expect it to be. I love this. It's so much fun. The art's good. The story's good. I'm just enjoying going back through it and reliving that experience, although in a not slightly different medium, completely different medium. Although it feels pretty similar going through it. I don't know. It's been a really good time going back there. I made it through 3 of the big colossal editions. That gives me 4 more to go before I've actually finished it, but it's just as good as you would expect it to be. Then I had this son of a bitch Draglogia he's a patron as well, jump in there, and this was actually his nomination for the Patreon pick. It lost, but I was so interested in the idea of Gundam the Origin, and on top of that, these books are stunningly beautiful. That always helps for some strange reason. But I picked up these, and I picked up a couple of them. I picked up 3, and I read all 3 of them, and then I went and got a 4th one. So I read 4 of these in the month of September, and it's so good. It's surprising in that it's like the original 1970-something run of Gundam, but it wasn't actually written into the manga until like the teens somewhere. And it's so, oh my gosh, the art is so good. The character designs are so good. They didn't try to update it or modernize it in any way. It's there in all of its 1970s glory. It looks stunning. It's really, really well done. Then the action and everything's drawn well. The story is interesting. It's good, but it's interesting because it's like, it's very stereotypical, all big mech battles between these giant robots and this war, and there's the side we're on and the other side. I was going to say the good side and the bad side, but it's super gray, which is typical again for most of these kinds of things. But we also are following like a teenager that's just kind of got into the suit, and he's now the pilot, which is once again super stereotypical for this kind of a story. But he is so much more a 15-year-old than normally portrayed. Normally, when we have this 15-year-old, he's surprisingly strong and bright and mature and this and that and the other. This little son of a bitch is the most immature little brat I've ever seen. He's borderline unlikable. He's throwing these ridiculous temper tantrums, acting like a fucking baby at all times. There is not a single moment where it's like, oh, that was a surprisingly mature moment for him. No, he's this little temperamental brat that just happens to be able to run the gun. I don't know. So I'm like, I have a real love-hate relationship with him in this manga. And it's like, the manga's good, the art's good. I kind of hate his character because he's just like a little shit. I don't know. He might have an arc. Maybe I will say something different, and once I read more of these, I'll be like, oh, that was the greatest character arc of my life. As of right now, 4 volumes in, he's an insufferable brat. But, like I said, we'll see. But that in and of itself feels almost like we're erring on the side of believability, because I have a 14-year-old son right now. So, trying to be like, throw him a Gundam and see what happens. I'm kidding. My son's wonderful, actually. As a matter of fact, he's extremely good, but I'm just saying, I understand the raging emotions of a child at this point for sure. Anyway, so that's what I read. I won't be reading any more of these in October because I'm putting these on hold for, what am I trying to say? Oh, my October spooky season reads, because I wanted to get some creepy stuff in there. So I'm doing some Junji Ito and PTSD Radio for this month, and then I'll go back to these later. So probably December-ish, at the very least, I'll try to churn through some more of these. This might wait till the beginning of next year, but I wanted to at least get it started. And I'm glad I did, because it's really quite enjoyable. Anyway, everybody, that is everything that I read in the month of September. What did you read, and what was your favorite thing that you read? And as always, the link for my Patreon's in the description below. The link for my Discord's in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.